Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Wanted to start off this morning's video by letting you guys know I did talk about this XRP staking coming from Binance. Guys, this is a scam. I was a little skeptical yesterday that they were offering this. Somebody told me to look at the email address that it was sent from, and so if you guys take a look up here, you can see a fake email address. I should have seen this yesterday. I don't want to mislead you guys, so thanks so much to the community out there, reminding even me to be very, very careful, and just wanted to pass this message along. So thanks so much, guys. Wanted to keep moving. T-Analyst here on Twitter posting this. Now, I know some of us are in disbelief that we are at the beginning of a bull run, but check this out. Bull run will last 2.5 years. Bull runs always last for 2.5 years. Bear markets only last 1 year. Taking a look at some previous bear markets and some previous bull markets and the timing. I know we've done this in the past, but it's always kind of good to get other people's opinions on this, where we are now. And I think part of the problem where people think, or rather are skeptical, is that, we did see this pump up here. By the way, this is Bitcoin on the weekly. We did recently see a pump. The beginning of 2023 looking very, very bullish. Now we're just kind of hovering and not really seeing too much activity. If I throw it on the daily, you guys can see a bullish move for Bitcoin. And what people expect is, a continuation to the upside continuously until we hit all-time highs. Now, this generally doesn't happen like this. We could top out here, and realistically, over the next month or two, we could come right back down here and, people will be crying, no, look, we're still in a bear market. But technically, guys, so long as we maintain support, and I'm going to put it right in around there at about 18,100, maintain support, maintain higher lows. We can't really go beyond these lows here. From a technical standpoint, we are technically still bullish. So even if we hit here, and if we continue to the upside, and this is May 2023, technically we are still in a bull market. At that point, we would have to gauge, are we getting above this level of resistance? And so if we do in fact get above this level of resistance, confirmation that we are in a bull market. So, this could play out over several months. These bull markets generally take a while to play out, and I like using this example here. It's a good and bad example for a few different reasons. Good example because, since the 2018 bear market, we did come out of this level and made new highs coming back down. And this is a classic example of what I was just saying, This here took about 173 days, okay? So we topped out up here June 2019, came back down December 2019, so several months, a half a year before we started making our way up. But then, this is why I think it's a bad example, then the beer flu shut down markets globally. So, this would be considered a black swan event. I truly do believe that if this never happened, we would have continued making our way to the upside from here. So basically this would have been this, and this would have been superimposed here. And how much sooner would that have happened? I'm just estimating here. It would have been about 106 days sooner, and we would have seen the top of this market sooner. So, even just this, 175 days for this retracement, just going back to that idea, we could still see that here. So let's just stay positive, guys. Vet here on Twitter posting this for all XRPL NFT users. Please be aware, due to the amount of people losing XRP on a daily and weekly basis, let me give you guidance on how to be safe while interacting with NFTs on the XRP Ledger. So a thread here, if you guys are minting NFTs on the XRP Ledger, be safe because you don't want to lose your XRP. Whenever you transfer an NFT, make sure you account for receiving the NFT, cancels all buy offers for this NFT. Go to a marketplace, and it gives a few examples here, or use the Flush X app by short the FOMO to cancel the open buy offer. Reason for this is a bug in the broker mode of XLS20, and so I'm guessing this is why they're continuing to make amendments for this, allowing sales to be brokered even if the broker is not set in the destination, but the buyer is in the destination of the sell offer. The matter is known and discussed here and hopefully follows a fix soon. So for those of you guys minting NFTs, just be aware. Another bug is the self-broker. Here you get brokered by connecting buy and sell offers you have open in an NFT you own. Again, cancel your open offers whenever you're done trading. Please practice offer hygiene. It's known and discussed here. So some tips and tricks here if you guys are minting NFTs on the XRP Ledger and you don't want to lose your XRP, on top of which sorting out the bugs. So wanted to thank Vet here just for letting us in on that. Big story today was the sunset of Coil. Michael Branch bringing this to our attention. And, I've been seeing the tweets online as well. Stefan Thomas coming out and basically giving us the skivvy. So Coil, for those of you guys who might be fairly new to the XRP community, is a key entity in the XRP ecosystem and a company backed by millions of dollars from Ripple. So Ripple did fund these guys. It was led by CEO Stefan Thomas. They were providing one of the 3 unique node lists or UNLs for the XRP Ledger alongside Ripple and the XRP Ledger Foundation. It is therefore no exaggeration to say that Coil has been one of the most important entities in the XRP ecosystem and has contributed significantly to its growth. So, I mean, some in the XRP community probably wondering, how is this going to affect XRP and the XRP ecosystem? Is it a big enough part to affect XRP? These guys were one of the big players, especially early on. So in August 2019, the company received 1 billion XRP from Ripple's investment arm Spring, the equivalent of about $260 million at the time, to create and promote use cases involving the monetization of digital content on the XRP Ledger. I don't know if you guys remember too, it was just, it could have been last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, that Cinnamon, which was the video streaming platform, they were using Coil for payments. They also closed their doors just recently. So now we're getting news of this. Kind of a sad day for the XRP community, but is it really going to affect XRP in the long term? This is farewell, but not goodbye. Today, Coil is sunsetting. I would like to thank the team that made Coil what it is, helped create the Interledger Foundation and the ecosystem around it. Of course, I'm sad, but the work continues. This coming from Stefan Thomas here, the founder. Personally, I will remain chairperson of the board of the Interledger Foundation and continue to be fully focused on the project. Part of that will be building DASI, and I'm excited to have more hours for coding. He goes on to say, I've been working on XRP-related projects for more than 10 years now, which is a long time, but things require persistence, and I'm proud to be part of a community that puts real-world solutions and consistent progress ahead of ideology and hype. Slow and steady wins the race. Thank you all for your support. Bob Way responding here, sad to hear, Stefan, but the Interledger leaves a great legacy to grow and prosper. And Stefan Thomas responding, thanks. In my opinion, it goes back to Ryan Fugger's vision, and we're all just different people from all over the world who want to see that vision realized, and we're slowly stumbling our way towards our goal. So, still a very positive attitude, despite the fact that, the Coil project didn't quite work out, I guess, the way Stefan had envisioned. The Interledger Foundation also coming out with a statement. Today, our friends at Coil announced they are ceasing operations. We'd like to thank Coil for their foundational support to ILF. And here's some more details, guys. Well, the Interledger Foundation and Coil, these two organizations have worked together very closely over the past 2 years. ILF has always been an independent foundation and will continue the groundbreaking work started by Coil on web monetization and financial inclusion through open payments. Through this transition, we are committed to supporting our community and welcome questions about the Interledger Foundation, the Interledger protocol, and our technology moving forward. So there is going to be a town hall, apparently here, February the 9th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can register here. They just reposted this from Coil. Coil bids farewell, but not goodbye. So, is this, we got to address this, of course. It is a blow. It is a blow to the XRP ecosystem, but is it the end? Leonidas here also posting this, a huge effort from Ripple and probably its biggest failure. And so that's, he's not saying that lightly here. A 1B, meaning $1 billion XRP investment with very little to show for it. Coil was an excellent idea, but the business model and timing weren't ideal. So we got to remember too, right? This came out in they were starting to develop it over 2019 and 2020. Maybe a bit ahead of its time, considering now we are really starting to see, projects like this start to develop. And, the world just really isn't ready or wasn't ready, especially at that time for Coil. We in the XRP community, especially the OGs, we were getting really excited about the possibilities. But, you need a continuous flow of money to get these things off the ground. And I guess it just wasn't there. Build it and they will come. Doesn't apply to everything, no matter how much money you throw at it. So Leonidas' perspective on here, Coil also invested in a number of other companies and startups. The money raised, shown in the table here, is the amount, is the total amount of the funding round, not necessarily the amount Coil invested. Only the $20 million raised by Imager was exclusively from Coil. So giving us some more details here on Coil, Nietzschebuck's down here saying, that is a lot of XRP for a failure. What XRP-denominated investments has Ripple made that have been a success? Is there a chart of all of them and results thus far? I remember being in a thread with the Toast Wallet guys back in the early days of Coil, this coming from Jumpy here. Remember both of us discussing and being very pessimistic about the business model as it was. Unbelievable in all this time they didn't find a way to adapt, considering their resources, what a big waste. So, some people being critical, it was a big investment. I'm not going to lie. Ripple, though, has got a lot of money, luckily, and, it's not going to break the bank for them. One of the things that I wanted to mention, which was also listed in this article here from Michael Branch, if we go down here, something to make note of, guys. As part of this decision, Coil has decided to discontinue all Coil products and development efforts on March the 15th. So it's all sunsetting March 15th. According to the company, though, Coil was always intended to be an accelerator for the initial phase of the Interledger protocol. So Coil's approach of providing memberships was always meant to be a stepping stone to establish web monetization as the first open standard for creators and developers to get paid on the web. So the first phase, it almost sounds like it was supposed to be a very expensive proof of concept. And in a lot of ways, I guess that's what it ended up being. I guess they could not be profitable with it, but in the end, it is giving more developers new ideas, and I'm sure this has spurred on new ideas currently in development for new creators to be able to monetize using the Interledger. So ultimately, is it a blow for the XRP Ledger? I mean, kind of. We always want to see these projects succeed. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. The Ripple ecosystem is growing continuously. XRP is going to be utilized worldwide. We're seeing, other partnerships thrive. I mean, the ones that Ripple have forged over the years, those are really going to be the value drivers. I think the central banks, obviously moving all the money. Considering we have Ripple partners here like Nomura, they're on track to launch their institutional trading platform by the first quarter. So within the next couple of months here, pending regulatory approvals. This is another one here from Michael Branch. And so just down here, Laser Digital is driving forward with plans to launch its trading platform in the first quarter of this year, despite the fallout from the collapse of once vaunted crypto exchange FTX. The digital asset firm, which is a subsidiary of banking giant Nomura, which is the Ripple partner, launched last year with plans for 3 core verticals: trading, asset management, and venture capital. And guys, here's a quote. "Overall, I don't think the collapses affect the direction of travel," said Jez Mohideen, co-founder and CEO of Laser Digital, in an interview with The Block. "If anything, obviously, what it does is it affects the business planning in terms of longevity, of how long it takes to become profitable based on volume and evolution of the ecosystem and so forth." So, taking a realistic approach, really. And in Japan, they're way further ahead with regards to the regulatory clarity. So, this move for them, I think, makes sense. Laser Digital's most mature vertical is its venture capital arm, which is an extension of the venture investing model that Mohideen followed as part of his time as global digital officer for Nomura's wholesale business. Whoops. Why does it do that? My mouse. Right over here, the new venture arm allows for more digital asset investments to be made across a wider range of industry themes. The firm's institutional trading service will be the second of the verticals to launch, it being so that Laser can become a liquidity provider for its current and prospective clients, which range from professionals to hedge funds, family offices, and pension funds. So looking to be a liquidity provider as well. So a big crypto trading exchange in Japan. Good to see that is happening through a Ripple parent company, Nomura Bank, and one of their companies, Laser Digital, to provide more on-ramps for institutional traders to onboard in Japan. And again, this article from The Block does highlight best-in-class liquidity. So liquidity, something that, I think a lot of these firms are looking at as an important feature. And, especially considering the FTX collapse, they likely provided a lot of that liquidity before. And now they are no longer around. So we need something to fill the void. Anyway, wanted to thank Michael Branch for posting that. Now, here's an interesting question from Eggrag Crypto here. XRP, what if the escrow is burnt? Now, I know we've touched on this topic in the past, but hear him out here. Although Hammertoe stated in theory anything is possible, any other answers? He was asking this, specifically tagging David Schwartz. So what if the validators vote on every XRP in circulation to be burnt and leave only what is in the escrow? An interesting question, and I need some help. Any help, Hammertoe? Is it theoretically and technically doable? So Matt Hamilton did respond here. In theory, anything is possible if the majority agree on it. So theoretically, everything that is not escrowed could in fact be burnt, which would diminish the supply of XRP significantly. And obviously, if the supply is diminished significantly, that would give XRP more value. But how likely is this? I mean, really, in this context, anything can be proposed to be amended to the XRPL by anyone. This coming from Ripple It In here. The reality is that XRPL validators are the only ones who can vote on the amendments becoming enabled or not. And for those, only those who form the XRPL's UNL for consensus have their votes counted. Thanks, mate, for your insightful comment, but I just wanted to touch on the economical and legal implication coming from Eggrag here. But thank you in advance. The German XRP investor posted this. Wouldn't that put the ultimate distrust in the XRP ledger? But then Eggrag brings up a good point. On the contrary, if they voted for it, That means complete trust. Think about that for a second. The whole point of this is to have, a democratized way to make decisions on the XRP ledger. And, that was, the basis for his question. If the majority of people did vote on this, could it happen? And this is, I guess, to the point of Matt Hamilton. In theory, anything is possible if the majority agree on it. Well, David Schwartz, guys, also chimed in. Ripple it in, posting another comment here in context. Anything can be proposed and be amended on the XRPL by anyone. The reality is the XRP validators are the only ones who can vote on the amendments becoming enabled or not. And for those, only those who form the XRPL's UNL for consensus have their votes counted, as I mentioned before. David Schwartz responding, that's true in a sense, but it's not meaningful. In reality, anytime there was a contentious code change, the two sides would also propose their own UNLs. Whoever proposed code to burn the XRP would also propose, in the same code change, a new UNL that supported the burn. So what he's saying is there would have to be more code. And I mean, I'm not a coding guy, but I'm trying to follow this, and I think I'm getting it here. There would have to be a code burn. Just clicking on that, it's an unavoidable fact that you have rules. You must have validators willing to validate according to those rules. So along with your rule change, you also propose a UNL change to the validators who agree to validate with your rules. So UNL control today does not matter. Let me just go back to the response here. Would propose, says Ripple it in, should read could propose. While it might be likely they would, you cannot categorically say they would. David Schwartz responding here, sure, there are a million ways you can fail to change the XRP ledger, but it's not interesting to examine them if what you want to understand is how someone would best be able to affect a change. I love how David Schwartz writes. So to put it less snarkily, as he writes down here, to put it more precise and less snarky, no matter what, you have to get people to accept your modified code anyway. And no matter what, you have to have some group of validators willing to validate your code. That is unavoidable. The technology requires it, so it is baked into the tech. Given that, it is negligible extra effort to include the UNL change with the rules change. You have to have both. Why wouldn't you bundle them together so the contents or controls of the current UNL does not make your task meaningfully different? Simply put, who would trust a UNL that changes the XRPL rules to burn someone's legitimately owned XRP? Asks Ripple it in, without a court order to do so. In fact, if that were to happen, I doubt you'd have an XRPL as we know it today. So another interesting point here, I mean, if our XRP was just burnt, poof, because it's not in escrow, that would get a lot of people very, very upset. David Schwartz down here, probably nobody would, but it would ultimately be because they didn't want the rules change. And so opposing this gets them what they want and not because something about the technology or structure of the network forced them to settle for an outcome they wouldn't prefer. So a very interesting discourse here about the possibility, slight possibility, very improbable, that the XRP outside of escrow could be burnt, but technically, it is possible. Wanted to thank Hammertoe and David Schwartz here for giving their insight. Of course, these are the guys we look to when asking questions about the XRPL, the technicals. And if our XRP could suddenly be burnt, poof, out of existence. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.